Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelosi and that's a new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. This time we start to work on a new tutorial series and we'll try to create an elevator, a modern elevator. And when we'll finish the elevator, we'll try to make some interesting animation together to make some environment animation that we done just maybe sometimes in our tutorial. So let's start to create the model. The model will be not so complex. And maybe we'll try also to render it with using different rendering engine. We'll see if we have time to do it. We'll start using Mentor Ray and iRay, and I'd like to have a possibility to render it using also Final Render and V-Ray. Okay, let's start to check the unit setup, and we stay in centimeters for the metric system. And I like to create the base of our elevator, and let's say that we have, for example, 2 meters by 2 meters. Okay, this one will be our base for the elevator, and I like to start working on the stuffs we'll have inside, and we can have the 4 wall over there, and I like just to make it maybe a little bit bigger. So let's go for 220 and 220, and then I can start using some boxes. Let's see if we can use the snap and right mouse button vertex. Okay, so you see we have the possibility to snap to the vertices, and we can do something like this, and later we can change the proportion. I made a mistake, sorry. Let's be faster without the and there inside the other viewport, and we need a box. Okay, and it will be 220 centimeters, and we can align to this one. Okay, then we can move it there, and we need to have it higher. Let's say maybe 2 meters and 40 for the moment. Later we can see if it's enough or not. And this will be one of the wall, and we can make a little bit lower just on the other side. So this one will be one side, and we'll have the other side using the shift key. We can copy it, and we can have an instance. So let's start working on the name, and this will be the floor, and this will be wall SX and wall DX. Okay, now we need 2 more little walls because I'd like to create a different shape. So we can use one of it, and we can make a rotation using the angle snap, using the shift key by 90 degree as a copy, and this will be wall door 1, and we can align in the middle, and then we can move it, and we can have it there. Okay, and this one will be a little bit more little, but I think we can go with an higher elevation. Let's say it's okay for 2 meters and a half, but let's go for 2 meters. Also this one will be 2 meters, and we'll have maybe 20 centimeters for the dimension there, and let's say 2 meters and 2 meters. So I like to create some different space. So let's go, sorry, this one can be little, it's not a problem, and we'll have it there, and this one there. This one must be 20. And this one will go there. And I move also this one there. Okay. So this one will be lower. Let's imagine maybe 2 meters. Okay. And it will be with a boolean, and let's say that we'll have this one can be aligned there. Let's say okay, center and center. Okay, and this one will be let's say maybe 1 meters and 10. Okay, we have enough space, and it's not important for the other proportion. So we can select the first one, and we go in compound objects, pro boolean, start picking, and we select the second one. Okay, let's stop the selection there, and you see that we have the beginning of our model. Let's select edges faces, and we can start making some changes to the model. So right mouse button, convert to editable poly, and then we can go in selection for the edges, and you see that we have these edges selected, but I like to select also the other edges like this and this. Okay, and I like to make, let's go near the model and move a little bit there. Okay, and I like to create a little bit of chamfer settings. Let's move it, and I like to have just a little bit. That's too much. Let's try 0.5 and 0.5 centimeters. Okay, 5, perfect. And let's use maybe 2 connection segments, and let's say okay, perfect. And now we can continue working on this model, and this model can be also copied on the other side. So we can make edit, clone as a copy, because we'll work on this one, and this one will be door back, and we can move it on the back side. Okay, now I'd like to create the objects that will stay there. We can make boxes, and these boxes will be 8, 30 centimeter, maybe 40, I don't remember perfectly there, and we'll have 20 and we'll have 2 meters, sorry, 2 meters, and we can align it to this one, and we like to align in this way, and then we can move it on the upper side, and we have to do the same thing we done on the other. So let's convert to poly, and we have to select these edges and the other one, and let's go there, chamfer settings, and we need the same settings, so we'll have 0.5, 2, let's stay with 3, 2, and OK. Perfect. And close. And I like just to move it a little bit. OK. Perfect. Now we have to make a copy also there. We can make a copy using the Shift key, and this one will be an instance. It's not a problem. Or maybe we can just work to make the last changes. So let's not make a copy, and I like to make another boolean there. So we'll create a chamfer box, okay, and I like to align it in the middle of this one. Perfect. This will be this will be a monitor, so we can go there, and we can have a different proportion, so we can stay with 35 centimeters and 35, so maybe 25, 30, okay, maybe 28, and it will be a little bit bigger on this side, let's say 38, and the fillet will be 0.5 centimeters. Let's zoom this area. Maybe we can go with 1 centimeters, and we can have more fillet. Okay, so we can pick this one, and we can have compound objects, pro boolean, start picking, and remove this one. Let's remove the edges faces, so you see we have this space there. Convert to the table poly, and we can have this plane, can be the screen, so we can detach this one, and it will be screen, and this will be front up door. Then we can select this one, sorry, I am making some strange stuffs. Okay, and this one will be with a different color, so we can check it. And now we like to have a screen over it. I'm talking about a glass screen. So we can create a plane. We can have just one segment, and this one will be screen, glass. And we can move it, for example, there, just to have a little bit of depth in the image. Okay, so now we are ready to make a copy for those messages there. So we can go in the outliner and we can select screen, glass, and front upside there. Okay, and we can, let's move it there. We can make a mirroring and we can make an instance, and then we can move it and we can align to this one, and it will be just over the other axis. So okay, so I like to start also working on the layering. So let's go in the layer, and for the moment we can select also this one and create a new layer, and we call it backdoor. Then we can select the screen and the screen glass and this one, and we can create front door, and then we have we can select the wall and make a new layer, and this one will be named side walls, and this one will be the floor. Okay, save, and again back there, and let's go to work on the default layer. So now we have to continue working on the steps, and I like to create the real wall there, so we can create two boxes. It's not so complex. And for the moment we don't need something special, because we'll not open the door, but maybe in the animation tutorial we'll work on some detail for the modeling, because we'll try to make some animation also for the door. So let's create the box, and for the moment we have just to say that our door is, let's use the tape, is 1 meters and 10, so we can have 55 centimeters for the moment. Okay, and it will be 2 meters and 10, so we'll have the possibility to move it inside the other object, and it will be maybe 5 centimeters. Let's align there, just over the z-axis, but obviously the center is the previous one, so we don't need to make the alignment. We can make it manually, and let's go there, and let's go really near to understand if we are perfectly closing. Okay, let's see if we are working on the front door, on the back door. So let's go there and let's move it, sorry, just over the x-axis. And we can rotate a little bit, and let's move it there. Okay, and this will be front door SX, and then we make a copy using the shift key, as an instance, and it will be front door dx. Let's zoom to work on a more precise position. And we leave just a little bit of space just to have the possibility to see the light during the animation. Let's go there, and this will be, you see, our interior. And I like to make some working there on the wall, so we can convert to editable poly and convert to editable poly also this one. And let's select the edges. Let's go in edges color and shaded, so we have no shadows. Okay, and chamfer settings, and we'll go for 0.5, and we can go for 3, and yes. Okay, so we can do the same there. So selecting this one, edges, chamfer settings, and let's go for 0, 5, and 2, 3 segments. Okay, let's close. So that's our interior for the moment, and we can make a copy for this 2 door, and maybe we can also move it a little bit there. Okay, and let's go there, and we can make a mirror copy over the x-axis as an instance, and we can move it there, maybe a little bit like this. Okay, save. And now we need the floor, the upper level for the elevator, and I like to use boxes, and we created one floor by 2 meters by 2 meters. Let's remove these segments to have a faster model, and we can create boxes like this, and it will be 2 meters by 2 meters. We can move it on the upper level, and it will be maybe let's say 25 centimeters, because it will be there, but it will continue on the upper level. So let's go there, and we can stay with just this one. So let's go in isolation. Okay, and I like to create some lighting there, so let's create a chamfer box, and now we will adjust the proportion. Okay, let's go there, and we say that we have 175 centimeters, and we'll have 85, let's say 90, and we'll have 35 for the height, and we'll have, let's see, maybe 2 centimeters. Okay, let's align in the middle there. Okay, and we can move it in this way. Okay, and let's select the first one, compound objects, pro boolean, start picking, and the second one. So we have the right operation there, and convert to editable poly. Now I'd like to have a 4 lamp, and we can go there and we'll try to create the model I need. So we can make it using a box as this one, or maybe just using a spline. So I need a rectangle, and we can make something not so precise. Okay, and let's align in the middle just using the X and the Y axis. Okay, and okay. And now I like to create some more rectangle, and let's say something like that. And we'll have 2 centimeters, maybe 3 or 4, no, 3 centimeters. Interpolation will be adaptive to have a better curve, and we'll align this one on the X axis to have it in the middle. Okay, and then let's start making the other copies. So we'll have another one there, and let's say something like that, and let's say something like that. Okay, and there we can have more little rectangles, so we can make a copy there as a copy, and it will be something like that. And we can have it there and there. Okay. Now we need to pick the rectangle, and we can convert using the right mouse button to editable spline, and we can attach the others, this one, there, this one too, and this one. Okay, and then we can use the extrude, and we can say that it's 3 centimeters. So you see we have this grid. Okay, and I like to make some stuff, so let's make a copy, edit clone. As a copy, we remove this one, and we'll go in the spline, and I like to remove this one. Okay, and let's make an extrude. So we have just the lamp, and the lamp will be this color, and this one can be for the glass just 0.5 centimeters, and we can move it really near, but you see it's a little bit moved. So let's select back this one, let's call it lamp grid, and this one will be the roof, and this one will be the lamp. Maybe it's better roof lamp. And let's go there, and let's select the segments, and I like to make a little bit of that zoom there, so it will be more simple to make a selection. And sorry. Okay, it seems I have the right selection, and go back there, and we can select. Sorry, I made a mistake. We have to convert to editable poly. I was doing the wrong level, and let's select these edges. Okay, and then we can select the edges chamfer settings, and let's say 0. Let's see if 0.5 is good. Okay, it seems okay. Let's say okay, and we can close. So, and this meshes will be the roof. So let's create a new layer, and let's call it sorry, roof, and go back there to work. Let's save and exit from the isolation, and we have for the moment our basic model for the elevator. Let's go there and let's change a little bit the camera, and there we can have the camera. So let's show a different point of view. Let's say that we have this one open and also this one, maybe in this way. Let's change a little bit the focal length, and we'll work maybe on a rendering with a different resolution. Let's say, for example, 400 by 900, and close, and let's say there to show the save frame. Okay, now we can play a little bit with it, and let's say that will be 500 for 900. Okay, and then we can move the camera. We need to remove the clipping, so we'll have no clipping. Okay, and I like to make some changes there. So the camera will stay there, but I like to change gain, okay, to something like that, and we can go for a 600. Okay, and stay with something like that. And we can make, okay, a little bit of rotation just to give a strange visualization, and later we can make as we want. So let's, for example, move in this way. Okay, let's save, and now we can just to play a little bit start putting one light just to have the basic illumination for our test render. And we have to choose. We can use, for example, this one as an illumination, or we can use directly a lighting, and we can use, for example, a free light there. Okay, and let's use one there. And let's say that is a rectangle, and it will be something like that, and something like that, and it will stay there. Just to make a test for the moment. Let's make a copy there as an instance, and a copy there as an instance, and a copy there as an instance, and later we can fix it, obviously. And let's save, and we say that we'll use mental array for the rendering. And let's see what happened with a really low amount of final gather. Let's make a test render. We have a lot of lighting. We have to, and I like to change the exposure control. For the moment, we can go, for example, to use the mental array photographic, and let's do indoor daylight. Let's see what happened. Let's make the rendering a little bit more little, so let's say 300, so we can see it together. And you see it's a little bit bit better than before. Let's see the light information there, and if we have the shadows, you see that it starts to work with the shadows, but I like to see more things there. We can have also the light shape visible, so we can decide to have the light shape, or maybe the model. So, and I like also to see how it looks using the array. That will be a faster way to create this kind of lighting, and for sure it will be more precise, but we have to work a little bit on the lighting and the other stuff. So let's continue to set up a scene that can be rendered using also the other rendering engine. So let's, and before I like also to see what happened, let's set to off. What happens if we have the roof lamp using a material that can illuminate? So let's go there, lamp, and we use an Archon design. Okay, let's see what we have there. Okay, and we'll have white color, no reflectivity, and inside the self-illumination we have self-illumination glow, and you see that now we have the self-illumination there. And let's say that we have 1500 candle, and illuminates when using final gather. And let's see what happens. You see that we have the lighting there, and we need for sure to have more bounces. Let's start playing with 3, and you see that we have more lighting inside. Okay, so you see that we are starting to have the lighting there, and save. And I like to play this time using the array because we can do it. Let's disconnect this one. This one will be mental array, and the rendering will be array. And let's see what happened. You see that we have a really good lighting using array, and it's really fast. Okay, that's our work in progress, and maybe it's better to use this way and to continue working with the eye array. Um, okay, let's close that thing. I like to add two little detail there over the roof, and then in the part 2 we'll finalize some mesh stuffs there, and we'll finalize the shading and the lighting. So let's go in the manage layer, and let's select the roof. Sorry, select tools, isolate. Okay, let's go in perspective, and we'll have it there. I like to add 4 lamps there with a more hot color. So we can use a tube, a cylinder, and let's say that the lamp will be maybe 10 centimeters is too much, and 6 centimeters, and this one will be maybe there. Okay, and another one will be there, and both copied there. Okay, then I can try to go in this way there, and we can convert to editable poly, and we can attach the other cylinder, and I like to try to make a boolean there. Let's remove the show edges now, and this one pro boolean, so compound objects pro boolean, start picking. Okay, perfect. And let's convert to editable poly, and I like to make a little bit of chamfer settings, and you see that we have a little bit of problem there, but maybe if we stay for 0, 2, so you see really little. Maybe let's try with 0, 0, 3. Okay, and then back I like to use, let's select some faces to make sun lamp there, and we can use also the plane, so we can make just a plane. It can be little as this one, and it can stay, you see, something like that. And we can have the hot lamp, and the color will be something like, let's try in this way. Okay, and assign it, and we need to copy it, so we can make a copy there using the shift key, and then we can select both and make a copy there using the shift key. Okay, exit from isolation, let's go in camera, and let's show save frame and save, and let's see what happened. I think that I made a mistake because we have the wall. Okay, it's not so big problem. So we can just go there and select this one and put there, select there and put there. It should be okay, I think. No, we have still problems, because then we have to use a left. So we have to select just there, sorry, these vertices and also these vertices, and move it, and then this area and this area, and move it. Okay, then we need to move the rectangle there, we have to select this one and move it there, then and move it there, same thing and the other area. Okay, it should be okay now, and save. Let's go at full screen and let's try to render again. And actually it seems that we have not enough lighting there for this plane, but let's try to have a really high amount of lighting there, and it's still in this way. Let's try to use the same lighting just to see. Okay, it depends on the power. Let's use a shell modifier to have the face on both sides. Let's do in this way 0.1. Let's make a test render, and you see that now we have the lighting also there. Okay. Let's go back to maybe 2500. So we have a little bit less lighting actually, but let's go there, and I like to have also the basic color in this way, and same thing there, more orange, and let's see to have a really high amount of Kelvin degree, and let's go with a higher power. Let's try 10,000. Okay, stop, and I like to have just a depth of field there. So let's select the camera, so we'll have the basic scene. I'd like to see where is there. Okay, so we like to have the focus there at 260. Okay, so let's try with this one, enable mental array, and let's see what happens. And you see that we have the depth of field on the front, and I like to be sure that we have no depth of field there on this part. So let's select the camera and let's use 250 to be sure. Another test render, and you see that we have the depth of field there and a good depth depth of field there. So we are ready to continue working on this scene. And I like just to be ready to finalize this one. Okay, so I think that for the moment that's all, and on the next part we'll do something changes there to the model to have some tool for the elevator, and we'll work on the shaders to have the final scene. So let's say, and that's all, and thanks, and we'll see really soon with the part 2. Bye.